good morning and welcome. It is lovely to be with you. It's lovely to be with that fabulous Jennie. Yes. Good morning. Hi, Jennie.
Nice to see you.
Oh, it's lovely to see you. Now, we are in, well, I was going to say in the classroom, but it is like a classroom with you, isn't it, Jennie? Yes. That's exactly what this is.
I teach, they listen. Do you know what some people do? Some people record it, sit there, slow it down, pause it, write every word that falls from my lips down. Amazing. Be careful, watch it. And sort of write it all down.
That's fabulous.
But today we're being bag ladies.
Okay.
Because I've got this new bag design I thought of. Driving along in the car, suddenly thought, hey, you could do this.
Was it a eureka moment?
Yes, it was sort of. So that resulted in what I've got here.
Can I have a look?
Yes.
We will show you and we'll tell you all about the show. But, so, what's the idea then, Jennie?
It comes from a triangle template.
Okay.
And it's basically triangle stitched together.
Beautiful.
But there is a clasp that goes from one side of the bag to the other.
Like a magic clasp.
So that when you go out and leave the house, partner thinks, oh, she's not doing much shopping because it's not a very big bag. You go to the shops and you buy lots of stuff, you see, so you undo it. And you have a bigger bag.
An expanding bag, that's marvellous.
And it's just one triangle template.
That's beautiful.
So then I did a posher version, so it's a slightly posher version.
Okay.
This is done with crazy patchwork. So we've got this coming up. But these are all out of fat quarters, and we've got some great fat quarters.
Yes, we have indeed. Now, I'm just going to tell you a few bits of information before we get cracking in with our goodies. This is, of course, one of the classrooms, but it's one of the classrooms in the series. Now, you can find the rest of Jennie's classrooms. You go into sewing and then you go along into the quilting classroom with our Jennie, of course. That's where you need to go to find all the other classrooms. There are previous ones on there. You go on to the current lessons and that'll show you what we've got there. So you can down the project file there and you'll be able to see some of the fabulous things that our Jennie's done. So please make sure, if this is the first one that you've found, please make sure you have a look on there as well. And that's what we're doing today. Yay! There you go, that's today. So that's how you find it. So if you have been trouble finding it, that's how we find it. So that's the important bit. Obviously, if you do want to buy anything, it's all at wcreateandcraft.tv. That's the website. Emails will be going into the Cup of Chance, although I won't be reading them out. We will be doing a Cup of Chance at the end of the hour.
We've got a giveaway.
We've got
some bits and pieces they can sew together.
That's all the bits done. Shall we show them what we've got?
Please. Yes, we've got this fabric.
This is very good value for money, isn't it, Jennie?
Extremely good. You've got 6 fat quarters, so you've got 6 by 18 by 22 inches.
Okay.
We've got 2 different colourways. We've got the navy colourway and there's a red colourway.
Super.
So you could make the bags on the show today with that packet. You could make the tri-tote I waved around at you. You can make the other bags on there. It would work. $6.99.
That is such a bargain. And club members $6.29. I like these prints. Can I be really naughty and just take this off? Is that naughty? Because it's ratty anyway.
Yeah, it's ratty.
It's ratty anyway. Ratty. Look at those prints. They're lovely. They're bold.
Go on, let's get one out. Magic hands can always put them back together again. If you open them out like this in the middle here, there you go.
Oh yes, that makes life easier.
And we can just slide one out.
Marvellous.
You can tell I've done extracting before.
Oh, indeed, Jennie. I can tell you know what you're doing. That's beautiful, isn't it? That's a really nice, bold, gorgeous print.
$6.99. That is £1 and about 12 pence. No, about 18 pence each.
Yeah, that's a bargain. That's really good. And you can make the bags using these fat quarters. Okay, if you want to go for your first bargain of the day, £6.99. You've got 2 colour options. That's your gorgeous blue, that fabulous navy. We've also got red for you. We've got a little picture for that. I like that. That is fab. That is summer right
Isn't
there.
It summer?
Yeah,
it's red,
indeed.
It's the beach, it's summer shopping.
Is your holidays.
Yep.
324937 is your item number. £6.99 is your price, £6.29 club members. Okay, that's where we're starting, but we've got loads. So the first one is our rotary cutting bundle. So you've got your rotary cutter, you've got your spare blade, you've got your easy ruler.
Yes.
I presume this is an absolute
must-have.
That's
a really nice little ruler, just for sort of quick, easy products. You don't want to take something with you that's enormous. Now, that cutter blade, when you're doing a lot of thick fabric, suppose you can make lots of bags or you've got lots of strips cut, is great. It's a really good, solid cutter. It will go through 16 layers like butter.
Fabulous.
If you're cutting leather, it's great for leather, suede, things like that. So will cut many, many layers because of the depth of the blade.
Yeah, because it is. It's a really nice deep blade.
And you get a
have
spare
your
blade
spare blade as well.
Yes.
Okay, 1979, everybody. That is another good buy. Star buy, that should be £27. But remember, even though we're in the classroom, we have still got our star buys going on as well. That is one of them. 341649 is your item number. Now, next, these are pretty.
Now, these are 2 patterns, because I am aware there are people out there who are dressmakers and they like working from patterns.
Yes.
So do quilters. So I've got 2 bag patterns, and we've got a cracking good price on these. The price is amazing. Now, you could make those out of your fat quarters. So you buy a pack of fat quarters. And although it says on the back you need X amount of yardage, but you could make the bag because they'll fit the fat quarters.
Right, okay.
So 1 pack of those, and you've got all those bags. You can go on making them.
No way.
And they're easy. If you're a beginner and you're really looking for something easy, these are very simple bags. Learn to sew. What could be simpler?
Yeah, and they're really pretty. Some of them look like tote bags as well, so you could do them for your crafting, use them for your crafting. This is this is a half price deal. You've got both of your patterns. That is incredible. For just £5.09. Wow. 341652, that's your item number. You have to get that in your basket.
Yes.
Check your baskets out on these. Now, obviously, we have our Jennie here in the flesh.
We do indeed.
But if you want a little bit of Jennie, then you do need the
Now,
books.
I'm doing a quick bag from here. It's probably one of the quickest bags in the world to make. And I'm going to show, if I've got time, another bag from there. So these 2 books have a variety of things in them. We've dealt with them lots of times. If I know you've seen them lots, you think, oh, gosh, you're doing our books again. But they are really good books. And it doesn't matter whether you're a quilter, if you just want to play with fabric, this will give you fabric.
Yes.
So 2 quick bags, 1 from either book. I shall demonstrate later on.
Superb. Beautiful books. Fantastic projects, but a little bit about Jennie as well to make you giggle. Always a good price as well. 302929 is your item number. £24.99 is your star buy. £22.49 for both books, club members.
Pretty good deal.
And there's a lot in there. 302929 now. We've already got a little bit of, I want this.
Actually, I don't want it. I've got it.
You've got it.
Yes.
These are beautiful.
Super. The nice thing about these fabrics is they're cotton and linen.
Yeah, which is, you can tell straight away, can't you, Jennie?
And you've got a really, really nice fabrics there.
Yeah.
You've got the 5 different fat quarters in each of the packs. Coordinating colours. They're lovely to work with.
Look at that.
Really, really, really nice ones. A floral one. You've got the spotty one, and you've got the stripy one, and then you've got a plain one.
Oh, these are really nice.
Yep.
They feel, you can, oh, wow, that's beautiful, isn't it, Jennie? I really, really like these.
And then the pink option.
This is your beautiful pink. I think we're calling this rose. I will go through those options for you. Look at that. These are really, you need nice. These. That is exquisite. And you can imagine in the bags, these are just going to look
and then the blue one.
Oh,
now, I used the blue one to make a bag, which is hanging on the wall over there. It's got the pineapple design on it.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. It reminds me, it's a very nautical collection, that, isn't it? Oh, yeah, doesn't it look nice in the bag? Yep. That's fabulous.
And that came out of that fat quarter pack.
Wow.
So I use the other ones on the back there.
So you can do from that one fat quarter, you can get that beautiful
easily
bag.
And more.
Wow, that's really good.
So easy peasy, that one.
That's such good value for money. Okay, would you like me to run through those colours again for you? So first one we have got for you, remember the £13.99 club members, obviously it's less for you. So Rosie, that's the one with that beautiful pink tones. The next one is the blue that you saw Jennie make that fabulous bag out of. We've then got the fresh, which again really, really pretty. Love the fresh. And then you've got the natural. So the natural at the end there. Now then, 341599 is your item number. If you want to go for more than one of those bundles, because it's going to be very hard to choose one postage and packaging, they are top quality.
They are nice. They were very nice to work with.
I want them. Okay, next.
Right, this is the template I'm using for the bag.
Okay.
Now, it's a monster template, so you can actually use it for a variety of different sizes in between. So you don't have to make the bag my size. You could make it smaller. And indeed, the 60-degree template can be used for a variety of other uses. 6 of those together would make a Christmas tree skirt very easily.
Yeah, of course, because it is huge, isn't it?
You can use it like bunting. It's a nice, good template.
Yeah.
And it's a good price.
It is a really good price, isn't it? $15.29, club members. Okay, so Jenny will be using that. So if you do want that, so you can do whatever Jenny's doing on today's show, you need to get that in your basket. Now, wadding.
Wadding, fluff.
Yes, a little bit of fluff.
Right, here we've got the fusible fluff, and the fusible fluff is absolutely great for bag making.
I didn't even know they did fusible fluff.
You've got fusible
so it
fluff.
irons on and sticks?
Yes,
oh, that's cool.
Yes, and you just sort of stand there with the iron and you pass the iron over it and it sticks in place a treat.
Well, I didn't know.
Didn't you know that?
No, I didn't,
really,
Jenny.
really good. It washes well.
Yeah.
And, of course, if you're going to quilt things, you can fuse the layers together. They stick together. You haven't got to tack them up in any way.
Yeah, and you haven't to worry about it all moving on all your layers.
Nice.
Oh, that's fab.
The Hobbs fusible batting is very, very nice.
Well, we've got it on the show, only £11.69. Fantastic, pop it in your basket. And now 328808 is your item number. Next, we've got your interfacing. Okay. You talk about interfacing a lot. We do our creating craft, don't we?
Yeah. I know it's a fairly boring thing to have, the interfacing, but I find it extremely useful for working crazy patchwork on. You need a base to work on. I also find the sew-in one great for obviously doing all sorts of things where you need a base, and we've got the iron-on one where if you want to stick it to the back to add a bit more stiffening, particularly if you're making a bag, that works well too. So
fabulous.
Interfacing, a bit boring, but we need it. So, why not open your basket, sling it in?
Exactly. Pop it in your basket. It's only £2.99. Sling a couple in. Or, of course, $2.69 for you club members. 280015. That's your item number. We've also got the iron-on interfacing as well. So, acts in the same way, I presume.
Yes. But you can stiffen things with it.
Right, okay.
So, particularly when you're making a bag and you're using perhaps a thin fabric, maybe you've got some lovely silk, or your fabric's a little bit on the thin side, stiffen it up, and that will give it a bit more body. So the iron-on interfacing works great for that.
Fabulous. That's your iron-on interfacing, £2.69, 192157. That's your item number. Now then, what's this,
Right, the hobo
Jenny?
If we go to the wall, turn around.
Behind us.
We've got two hobo bags here.
Oh, they're
one
cute.
there and one there.
I like them.
It is. It's sort of, and the name comes sort of the tramp, the hobo. They hold a lot, and they have a similar way of working where the sides come in.
Okay, yeah.
So I made this some time ago, so probably that thought of bringing the sides in was buried in my head somewhere.
Yes.
Cracking pattern for this.
Yeah.
It's a clover pattern designed by Nancy Zeman. Very simple to use, and you can just go on making it, and there's a great variety of different ways of interpreting the thing. It has pockets. And you don't have to do it exactly how she does. There are ways of making it a little easier, which I'll show you.
Fabulous. I like that because, again, obviously one pattern, but, like you say, loads of different interpretations as well. £19.99 is your price, £17.99 for club members, and reusable, of course.
Oh, and how?
And some. 285188, that's your item number. Now, what's this gadget,
this is what's known
Jenny?
as a slash cutter or a chenille cutter.
I've not seen one of these before.
Okay.
Is this new?
Now, if you wanted to make a bag, we've only had it on the show a few times, but it keeps selling out. It's an absolutely super gadget.
What do you do with it?
If you're going to make a bag, you might have a load of rubbish fabric.
Okay.
And you're going to use them up with this slash cutter. If you literally put a pile of fabrics together, a heap of them, as I've got here, you sew lots of lines on the sewing machine.
Okay.
What happens then is you take the slash cutter and you slide the slash cutter up there, and you slash it all the way through there, and again, and you go on slashing it all the way through there.
Can I have a cut?
Yes. This slashes the layers.
Does it matter if you're left or right-handed?
No. That's it. Stick it in there. You probably have to pull the fabric behind you. That's it. There you go.
Oh, I like that, Jenny.
Okay, what happens then is you wash it, tumble it, and look, it comes up all fluffy. Now, this was some silk
Jenny,
and some gold lame. Okay, and just think of the bag you could make out of that. If you make a big enough piece, you can make a hobo bag with panels out of it. You could make the trito, my bag, out of it. You could do the quick bag out of the two books out of it. You're making a fibre.
Oh, that's so cool. And that's ridiculously easy. So that's literally just layers of fabric.
Really,
and then...
really horrid fabric, which I didn't like at all. Very cheap. Got it from a junk shop, something like that. put them together, did my lines of stitching.
And how cool.
And put it in the washing machine, tumble it, and it comes up
and
like
it's
that.
easy.
Yeah.
When you're doing your lines, do you have to be, you don't have to be uber straight.
No, I'm not uber straight on
and
there
you
at
don't
all.
have to,
you can even do circles. You can do circles with it.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yes, you can do all sorts of things. You can do wiggles, because they have with it. There's the other bit. There's the other bit. That's for doing circles and smalling things.
15% of the stock has gone. It sells out every time.
Yes.
It's
a super tool.
Okay, first time I've seen
all
it.
that leftover fabric, you don't know what to use, put them together in a heap, sew your lines,
it's going to sell out.
Just keep on doing it.
That's really good fun. It is going to sell out. Meow. That's really good fun.
It is, isn't it?
Okay,
and different colours, it all pokes through.
That's so cool.
That.
A quarter of the stock is now gone. That is going. Sorry, everyone. That will sell out. You need to check your baskets out. That's cool. 291372.
I knew you'd like that.
That's really good. I like that. Okay. Next.
Okay, we want to be professional. And if you're going to do, I know we're professional. No, this is the royal we, meaning us bag makers. If you want your bag to look really good, then bag furniture works. Yes. Is what's known as bag furniture. So you've got your D-rings there. Now, here again, I think these just add that little bit of finishing touch, that bit of elegance. It takes away from having the hook and loop fastener.
Yes.
It takes away from having the tie or the button you found in your granny's workbox. This adds that little bit of extra to it.
Excellent.
So if you want to get into bags and sell them, I would put things like the D-rings on them. It's a little bit more expensive, but it adds class. Yeah,
and it adds a nice weight as well, doesn't it? £6.99. They are nice and weighty. Only £6.29. We did apparently have the bronze, but that has gone. So unfortunately, we have only got the glossy nickel left in stock at the moment.
192 as well.
126, and it still looks beautiful. Now then, the closure now.
Right, now
so these are ones you use on your posh bag,
on my
Jenny?
posh bag, look. I use one of these here.
Okay. So that's what this is.
That just makes it that much more professional. And I also use...
strong, aren't they?
Yes, one of these on the inside. They are really strong.
Okay,
and they just go back together.
And easy to put in?
Yes, very easy to put in.
And you're going to be showing us that today, aren't you?
I shall be talking you through it.
Okay. Make sure these are in your basket. So, 15% of stock's already gone here. We haven't even shown you these yet. Multi-buy these. We don't cap it one per person. It's as many as you want. Same item number.
Sling them in your basket a bit quick.
Sling them in your basket because 15% of stock has gone. 336659 is your item number.
Okay.
Now, next the clothes.
Good old mini iron. Yes, again, people say, oh, you got your mini iron on again. But it is a useful gadget. It gets in all those little seams. It is great for dressmakers. It's great for people doing toys or anything like that because you can really get into the cracks and the creases. Nice to take to classes and things. It's got 2 temperatures. It's got high and low. Comes with a little stand. You can, if you want, take this off and put different heads on the top. So useful bit of kit, that.
And used quite a lot, actually, here at Create and Craft. If you'd like your mini clover, the details are there, 192527. That's your item number. You've also got a flexi pay there as well. It's £39.99, obviously less for our club members. And your flexis are £18. That's all you're paying. Next.
Right,
I remember this.
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking about one of these with someone just the other day. And they were trying to explain what they were, and I'm like, I know exactly what that is, because Jenny showed me. And these are great for doing, see, can you see, it's doing these teeny little stitchy things. So for tacking things together, this is absolutely perfect. For putting your hems up when you're out shopping and they fall down.
Allow me to expose my chest.
Oh, don't expose.
Yes, look, you see, I usually clip it in with one of these things.
Oh, I see.
You see, I just put this round in here, and it holds it in place.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's literally firing it in, so it just holds, it just tacks things in place.
But hems are brilliant.
Yeah.
And hems, tacking, absolutely anything like that, great little tool. I keep one in the car.
Yeah.
You know, you
so
snag your hem,
handy.
you literally get your hem up, tuck it up there, fire a few of these things through, and it holds it in place.
That's fabulous. Yeah, like that. And you get loads of the little taggy things as well, taggy things.
Quilters out there, if you're going to use it for tagging your quilt, you use the light ones on your dark fabric and the dark ones on your light fabric, then you can see them. That's why you've got 2 different ones in there.
Fabulous. Okay, so that's why you've got your choice in there. £22.49 is your price. 285221 is your item number. A brilliant little tool, lightweight, handy. So it's handy, like our Jenny says, for your handbag. Now, next, a big.
Now, this again, we've had on the show not many times. I think this is a superb square because if you want to make cushions, it is a 15.5-inch square.
Yeah.
draw around that, you've got a cushion cover. Yeah. I've used that, 2 of those bag side.
Yes.
It just gives you that much more adaptability than the 12.5-inch square. It's one that I use quite a lot. I mean, curtain makers, you need one of these because it's a nice big square.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
essential.
Well. Yes.
If you'd like to pop that in your basket, it's 274763. That's your item number. Just £20.99 is your price. It's another star buy that we've got on today's show. We have got another star buy, however, and Jenny's going to be using these fantastic sewing machine today. This is your Singer 1 Plus. It is, you have got with this one, it's a multi-buy. So you have got 100% fat, cotton. It's that, the Batik fat quarter with that one. Now, it's a 2-year warranty, beautiful electric machine. Computerised, it's got a whole selection of gorgeous stitches for you. Wonderful design, and of course, it's a Singer. 341227 is your item number. You've got your 4 flexi pairs there, £101.03. We don't charge you any interest, and of course you do have just £2.99 if you are if you're part of our Create and Craft Club. 341224. That's your item number. Now then, obviously check the website out for everything else. All the wcreateandcraft.tv. But this is the time where I say it's over to you, don't I, Jenny?
You can go and have a sit down.
I'm very marvellous. Right, everyone, enjoy. Thank you, Jenny. Over to you.
Right. Morning. Now, last time I did the show, I thought I talked a little bit fast, so I'll slow it down. No, I'm never going to keep that up, so I'm afraid you'll just have to watch the mouth go up and down. Do you know my husband? He said to me the other day, the one place you'll never get arthritis is in your mouth. Well used. Okay, we are going to be doing today something that I've called the Tri-Tote. Now, you will find there is a PDF for this. This is a document you can download and print off. You obviously don't have to print it in colour, but it does look rather nice in colour. And this will give you all the words on how you make this particular bag. Now, I've called it the JR Tri-Tote because it is my own idea. And you are more than welcome to teach this, show it to your friends, do what you like. But please, will you remember, it is actually my idea. So you're welcome to copy the notes, do what you like with them. I don't mind in the slightest. How does it work? Well, the design itself works using this particular template. And it was an idea that came to mind. I was driving. You know, you get bored driving along, although you have to watch the other cars. And I thought, I wonder what would happen if I took this template? And I must have been slightly thinking of the hobo bag, so perhaps you could say it's not wholly my idea. Anyway, I tried the prototype, and I made a little tiny weeny one because I wasn't going to waste fabric, and realised the design works. And it works by stitching together a series of triangles. When you stitch the triangles together, you're making basically half a hexagon. And it occurred to me, of course, I could bring the sides in, and that would contract the bag, giving you this bag that then appeared to be considerably smaller than it really was. So that was the whole premise behind it, was to use that template and see what happened. Now, initially, you've got to cut out the pieces. Now, you can get the Tri-Tote out of fat quarters, no problem whatsoever. And using those wonderful linen and cotton fat quarters we've got on the show really did make it a special bag to make. It was nice fabric to work with. It cut well, it sewed well. And that bit of linen is going to give it a longevity perhaps just the pure cotton ones won't have. But there's a little but about when you come to cut out some of the pieces. So when you lay your template on the fabric, place template onto the fabric, and you're going to cut out one shape. Now, I'd like you to put the template on so it's lined up with the edge of the material. The fabrics are cut beautifully straight. And you'll cut one triangle out there. You then need to cut another triangle out directly beside it. Don't waste fabric. Use the same cutting line. Now, because we've only got 5 fat quarters, for one of the triangles, you're going to have to cut 2 pieces and stitch them together. Now, this is perfectly doable on this template because you have the centre line marked and you've got a seam allowance either side. So it doesn't matter whether you're left-handed or right-handed or which way round you have the template. You will cut to the seam allowance, i.e. the line that is to the left or to the right of the centre line. Now, this is the one but you have to be aware of. If you're working with the linen fabrics, It is double-sided, so it doesn't matter which way you cut the triangles. But if you're working with one of the prints that has a right side and a wrong side, watch carefully now. One triangle gets cut out there, one triangle gets cut out there. You've got 2 half triangles. There are my 2 half triangles. You'll need to cut 1 half triangle out of that bit and 1 half triangle out of that bit over there. You can't cut it out from there, because if you look, the word RS has now vanished. And if you do cut it out from there, you'll have the problem that I did. And this is where I have to confess that when you look at the inside of this little bag, this section is made from 1 triangle right side out and 1 triangle right side in, because I wasn't thinking when I cut the pieces out. But you are forewarned, so watch it. Cut the other piece out there. All right? Got it. Great, let's get rid of that little lot in the time-honoured way on the floor. Basically what's going to happen now is you're going to put your triangles together. Now, the other thing you want to watch is these particular triangles have a grain to them. They have 1 stretchy side there, 1 stretchy side there, and a straight side. You need to make very certain you get the straight sides on the outsides of the bag, the top and the bottom of the bag. So find the straight side. Find the straight side. We don't want to have stretchy sides on the bottom of the bag because your bag will sag. When you've laid out the pieces and you've got the straight side, this is indicated in the PDF, you're going to stitch the 3 pieces together to make the whole section. And here we have the whole section of the bag stitched together. It's at this stage then when you can put it onto some wadding. And if you're using the Fusible, you can gently press it in place and it sticks down, an absolute treat. And I think the nice thing about the Fusible is you can actually iron it and it doesn't stick to the ironing board because it is heat resistant. But you don't stand there for ages with the iron upon it because you'll probably singe the material. Once your sections have been stitched together and placed on the wadding, we're going to be doing a little bit of quilting. Now, incidentally, you might have noticed that this is only 1 half of the bag. To make the full bag, you're going to need to cut out 6 sections. So I cut out 2 in floral, 2 in the stripy, and 2 in the spotty. Placed it onto my wadding, pressed it in place, and then I simply stitched like this. I didn't do anything terribly complex. I just sewed either side of the seam lines using 1/4 of an inch foot or whatever foot you want to use, edge of foot running up the seam, and I stitched either side. And then I sewed right the way around the outside edge just to hold all the layers together. Now you prepare both sides of the bag in exactly the same way. When you've prepared both sides of the bag in the same way, you need to turn your attention to the lining. And the lining is where you're going to have to be using pieces stitched together because you want the 6 pieces and you've only got 5 fat quarters. So be careful with the cutting. Remember what I told you. Sew your sections together in exactly the same way, and the lining does not go onto any wadding. The seams at the back will get pressed open and flat. I'm a fan of pressing seams open and flat. I think it reduces bulk and it makes it look flatter. You don't get that funny ledge on the front if you press them all to one side, but it is your choice in the end. So lining, you want 2 pieces of lining exactly the same way. Make sure you get the pieces stitched together and the seams either open or pushed to one side. Now, handles. There are a variety of ways of making handles. How I like to make my handles is cut strips from the leftover bits of fabric, and if necessary you can always join them together. And if you are joining them together, without doubt I'd press the seam open and flat. It makes it slightly less bulky. The nice thing about these waddings is you can cut thin strips of the wadding. And what I would do to make the handle, I make all my handles in much the same way, is the clover iron is really useful. Now this is not on because I don't want to damage my cutting mat. On your strip you want to press about 1/4 of an inch over on one long side. This particular strip's about 3 inches, but your bag handle could be any width you like. It really depends how wide a fabric you've got left. On the other side you want to iron up about 1/3 the total width of the band. We're then going to repress it so this centre fold goes over the raw edge in the middle. And it would be really nice if the fold here was actually in the centre. What I do then is measure roughly the width of that strip, and it's about 1 inch on my particular strap I've got here. Cut myself strips of wadding just about that width, no bigger and not much smaller. If you inadvertently cut it a bit bigger, the nice thing about this wadding is you can always stretch it a bit and it grows and then it gets a little thinner. The wadding gets laid inside and then wrapped up again. When you wrap it up, all you're going to do is sew down the centre. Now, this is where you want a nice, wide, wiggly stitch. Don't spend hours doing a fancy one because you'll be there till tomorrow. But something that's wide and wiggly straight down the centre. And I very often do tram lines up and down the sides. You'll find there's some very nice stitches on the Singer sewing machine that will exactly do what you want. So a nice, wide, quick stitch straight down the middle. And that makes a very good handle. Let me pop the clover round back there. Okay, now don't get confused. These are slightly smaller samples than you've seen before. I was running out of fabric. I only had 3 lots of the thing. How the handles get attached is, here is my panel onto its wadding. The handle wants to be put on so it goes about 2/3, or rather into thirds, so thirds, thirds and thirds across the bag. Do the same thing on the other side. Now, what I've done with this mini sample is I've also added a little tab. And if you are going to add a tab, you want to put the tab on with the tab going down that way. And if you're using the hook and loop fastener, then you want to put a bit of hook and loop fastener on it. But if you're going to go for gold, then make sure you put one of these pieces and you have it so that the magnetic clasp is on this side. Otherwise, you're going to get a problem when you try and fit the bag together. So we've now got the bag outsides onto wadding, handle here. This one's got a tab, that one has the handle. You put the 2 halves together, pin them well. And we're going to sew round on the sewing machine. You can do it by hand, but it's going to take forever if you do it by hand. And who wants to do things by hand when you've got a super singer? Right, because I'm going to be working around on quite a thick layer, I'm going to make my stitch length a little bit longer. So simply on the Singer here, you just push the stitch length button until the red light shows and up your stitch length until it's a reasonable size. I'm going to use the edge of the presser foot running down the edge of the fabric, sew down the edge there, drop my needle down to begin with and set off. The nice thing about the Singer is if you're worried about the speed, you've got a speed control, so you can always up the speed control if you so desire, or lower it. You, of course, at home will be able to sit down and do this properly. So down the side, along the bottom, up the other side again. So basically you're sort of sewing a boat. It'd be quite nice if you checked to make sure the seams went together. And I suppose one of the nice things about the triangles is they have got slightly stretchy sides because we've got the straight grain top and bottom. So if you can't make it fit, you can always stretch it a bit. Right, once you've sewn the sides there, I've got a thread saver. Do it the other old-fashioned way. Where's my scissors? There they are. Right, so we've stitched the sides of the bag, down the side, across the bottom, up the other side. That is the outside of the bag. Now you want the lining. The lining is made in the same way, sewn together, but the but is you want to leave a hole in the bottom of the lining. This is to turn it through, so leave a gap. If you leave too big a gap, it's a big gap to stitch up. If you leave too small a gap, it's jolly hard to turn the bag through. What you are going to do now is turn one right side out so you can fit the 2 pieces together. I'm going to put this away and drop it inside the bag. So lining I've turned right side out, I'm going to drop the lining inside the bag. Now, if you're going to add tabs, which makes the whole bag work in the proper way, before you put the lining in, you need to remember to add the tabs. And one tab is going to go this way into the bag. And if you're using the hook and loop fastener, make sure you get it on the right sides. And the other tab, which has mysteriously completely vanished, why do these things vanish so? Right, let's have a look. Where has it gone to? I had it earlier. Talk amongst yourselves. Do you know this? It is amazing how these things vanish. Never mind, we'll use one of these. You will have to just work out where the tab goes. There were 2 pinned on it to begin with. I shall find it at the end of the show. So put your tab down the other side and make very certain you've got them the right way round. So tabs in. Put the lining in. sew all the way round, and it's going to look something like this. I probably threw it on the floor. You'll be saying, oh, it's on the floor, it's behind you. There we go. So it's going to look like this when you've done it. Okay, we've sewn all the way round the entire thing. Once you've sewn all the way around the entire thing, all you're going to do is turn it through. And there is my little hole. Turn the bag through. Poke the corners out. There's one tab there, one tab there. There's my bottom. Now, once you've got the lining turned through, that is when you want to remember to sew up the hole in the bottom of the lining. One thing I rarely remember to do, and I think, in fact, they only got given a bag by me with the instructions of sew the hole up in the bottom. Pop the lining into the bag, and when you pop the lining into the bag, give it a real good press round the top, and then you're going to top stitch all the way around the top of the bag. And at this moment in time, of course, it is a triangle. But when you've got the bag together, here we are. Here is your bag that's been finished. It's been top stitched all the way around. There are my tabs sticking out the side. Shopping, got lots. But before I go out, I can just bring the bits in and tuck it together. Now, that was using the hook and loop fastener. And I have to confess, it's much, much more professional to use the magnetic clasps. It really is. It does make it look a little bit better. And putting a tab on it just finished it off a treat. Now, I was rather hoping to keep this, but my dearly beloved daughter-in-law saw it and said, could I possibly have it? Now, you might have noticed that this is slightly different. This is also made out of triangles, but the triangles that were used to make this out of were done with crazy patchwork. And the crazy patchwork was worked on the sew-in interfacing. So I had the sew-in interfacing. I cut triangles out slightly bigger than the template out of that because you use a template to prune it back. So hack your triangles out a bit bigger. Taking the scraps of fabric, or just cutting lumps off your material, if you lay one piece of the fabric in the middle of the interfacing, and remember we're using the sew-in interfacing, how crazy patchwork works, and I'll be going through this again tomorrow night because we're back on tomorrow with 2 other shows. We've got 2 shows, one at 3 and one at 6. Super lot of different templates tomorrow. Basically, it's a question of putting a fabric right side down, stitching and flipping it back. And you continue adding strips. It's called stitch and flip. You'll find ideas and more you can do with it in the Tucks, Textures and Pleats book. So if you've got the book, it explains exactly how it's done. Once you've covered the interfacing, you then simply put the template back on top and you cut it out properly. Once you've got it cut out like that, then you can piece the bits together to make the bag. So that's the tri-tote. Now, some of you will be saying, right, I want to see how the hobo bag goes. The hobo bag. The hobo bag is a really nice pattern. It's a clover pattern. And I think the nice thing about it is you can use it again and again and again. Let's clear all these bits up out of the way. Get rid of them on the floor. I know you're all laughing, saying, oh, but she doesn't clear it up afterwards. Oh, yes, she does. They make me go down on my hands and knees. Now, in the clover hobo bag, you've got 2 patterns. You've also got the instructions written in a whole load of different languages. So, you know, if perhaps English isn't your first language, there is German, there is Spanish, and there is French. There are 2 parts to the pattern. Now, I have the older version of the pattern, and you may still have one of these yourself at home. Be aware that in the pattern, you've got the upper tote part, and get it round the right way and you can see it. It says Template A, upper tote. That is the top section of the bag. I'll show you in a moment. But they have made a slight mistake on the printing because Template B, which is the bottom of the bag, it also says upper tote on it. So when you get it out, don't be confused. Can you read this upper for saying lower? All right? So this is really lower tote. I rarely find mistakes. I should think somebody just had a bad day and that just went out by accident. So just be a little bit careful. How does the bag work? Well, the bag works like this. Using your templates, cut out the various sections. The instructions are remarkably clear. So I'm only going to give you a quick overview of how they go together. This template makes the top parts of the bag, and I would very often cut my pieces out. Let's have the right section, there it is. with the fabrics either right or wrong sides together. You'll need 4 sections because you've got 2 sides. You'll need 2 for one